Hello students, welcome back. Again today chapter number 11, alcohols, phenols and ethers, and the topic for today is our last topic, ethers. And for ethers we will be doing two topics in this video. First is preparation of ethers and second is physical properties of ethers. The third property of ether, that is chemical reactions, that I will discuss in a separate video. Now first we will be doing preparation of ethers. As you all know that R bond O bond R is known as ether. Here R stands for alkyl group. Okay. Now if both of these alkyl groups are same, then it is known as symmetrical ether or simple ether. But if in any of the alkyl group is different, like if I write here R dash, then it is known as unsymmetrical ether or mixed ether. Okay, so we will be doing the preparation part first. And there are two methods of preparation of ethers. First is by dehydration of alcohols and second is Williamson synthesis. As you can see, it is a name reaction and it is very important from board point of view because many times it is asked in the exam. Now let us move on to our first method. See, the first method is by dehydration of alcohols. Okay, now see the main points written. Alcohols undergo dehydration in the presence of protic acids. This is the first condition. We can use either H2SO4 or H3PO4. The formation of the reaction product alkene or ether depend on the reaction conditions. Now if you look properly, you will come to know that this we have done earlier also. Okay, and in that case what was the product? Alkene. And I also told you that the temperature there was 443 Kelvin. And I told you this temperature or condition plays a very important role because if we change this, our product will be different and it will be ether. And the temperature should be 413 for this, 413 Kelvin. Okay, for example, ethanol is dehydrated to ethene in the presence of sulfuric acid at 443 Kelvin. We have done this one. Okay, at 413 Kelvin, ethoxyethane, which is an ether, is the main product. Okay, see, it is written in reaction form also. See, what is written here? This is an alcohol. And if you see, it is a 1 degree alcohol and it is ethanol. What we are doing here? Here H2SO4, here also H2SO4, here temperature is 443 Kelvin and here it is 413 Kelvin. At this temperature, the product is an alkene. Okay, and the reaction is elimination reaction here, elimination reaction. And here it is an ether. The name of this ether is ethoxyethane. And this reaction is an example of substitution reaction. And in fact, it follows SN2 mechanism. We will see this. Okay. So, I hope the reaction is clear to you. Now, let's move on further. See students, we are discussing right now this part of the equation. And its mechanism is also there in our syllabus. And if I talk about the chapter, this is the third mechanism. Okay, 1 and 2 mechanisms we have already discussed, and this is the third mechanism and it is in your CBSE syllabus also, right? Now talking about the mechanism, see the main points written here. The formation of ether is a nucleophilic bimolecular reaction. I told you it is SN2, it follows SN2 mechanism. You are very well aware now that there are two types of mechanism. One is SN1 and the other is SN2. This we have studied in our last chapter. Okay. chapter number 10. The second point, the method is suitable for preparation of ethers having primary alkyl groups only. We can say that this is one of the condition, but since you have already studied this, so you can predict from here also. If it is SN2 mechanism, and if you remember the order, what we have studied, 1 degree, 1 second. The order for this is SN2 mechanism is 1 degree, 1 degree, 2 degree and 3 degree. Okay, this we have already discussed. Okay, now the same thing is written that it is suitable for ethers having primary alkyl groups only. Okay, the alkyl group should be unhindered and the temperature should be kept low. Again, these conditions we have seen, because in SN2 mechanism, what is there? There is backside attack, and the lesser will be steric hindrance, the more favorable will be the mechanism. So what we need? Less steric hindrance. Okay, so it should be unhindered, and you know in 1 degree the steric hindrance is very less, but in 3 degree the steric hindrance is more. Otherwise, the reaction favors the formation of alkene. Otherwise, what will happen? Alkene will be formed. Now, the reaction follows SN1 pathway when the alcohol is secondary and tertiary. So, if we take primary, then we will get the desired product, and which is ether. But if we take secondary or tertiary, then what happens? It may follow SN1 path. Okay. Now let us see the steps now. This is the mechanism. The steps are given in your NCERT also. This again, it is a 3-step mechanism. This is step 1, step 2 and step 3. Step 1 is the same step that we have studied in our earlier mechanism, which is protonation of alcohol. Here what will happen? We will get protonated alcohol. Okay, this H plus will attack and it will attach to form ethyl oxonium ion. This is known as, if you write down the name, this is known as ethyl oxonium ion. Now see the second step. What will happen? In the second step, there will be backside attack of another alcohol molecule on the protonated molecule. This is the same molecule that we got from our first step, and here again we have taken any other molecule of the alcohol and there will be backside attack. Now see what we will get. We will get the addition product here with the elimination of H2O molecule. Then comes the third step. Here what will happen? This H will be eliminated as H plus. It will give its electron to O, and the final product, which is ether, will be formed. H will be eliminated. Electron of the bond is transferred to oxygen and H plus is eliminated. This is the ether, the final product that we want. Okay. Now, I hope the conditions are also clear to you. The alkyl group should be unhindered and the temperature should be kept low. So, 2 conditions that we need to remember is alkyl group should be unhindered. Unhindered means it should be 1 degree. And the temperature should be kept low, which is 413 Kelvin. Okay. And what condition else we studied? That if we take secondary or tertiary alcohol, the path followed may be SN1. Here the path follow is SN2 to get the ether. Okay. So, the dehydration of secondary and tertiary alcohol in this case, secondary is 2 degree and tertiary alcohol in this case is unsuccessful, because in that case what will happen? Elimination will take place. Okay, if we take 2 degree or 3 degree alcohol, there will be a kind of competition between elimination and substitution, in which elimination will succeed to form alkene. Okay. Now, if you look at your NCERT, where this topic is ending, there is a question over there. I am reading the question. It is written, can you explain why bimolecular dehydration? Bimolecular dehydration means SN2. Okay, SN2. Dehydration not appropriate for preparation of ethyl methyl ether. What we need to form? Ethyl methyl ether, which is what? Unsymmetrical. Unsymmetrical, it means something R dash we need to prepare. So the question is asking, is this method suitable? The answer is no, this method is not suitable, because complex mixtures are obtained by different combinations, and which have to be separated then to get the desired product, and the separation is not economical. So this method is not suitable for unsymmetrical alkenes, but this method is more suitable for symmetrical alkenes, preparation of symmetrical alkenes. Okay. So this was the first method, by dehydration of alcohols, and the mechanism also we have discussed. Now let us see the second method, which is Williamson synthesis. Okay, this is the second method. Williamson synthesis, very important name reaction. Okay, see, it is important laboratory method for the preparation of symmetrical and unsymmetrical ethers. See, in the first case it was suitable for symmetrical only or simple ethers, but in this we can make symmetrical as well as unsymmetrical ethers. In this method, what we do, an alkyl halide is allowed to react with sodium alkoxide. So these are the two reagents, alkyl halide and sodium alkoxide. You have studied alkyl halide, we can write as Rx. And what is sodium alkoxide? See this, RONA is known as sodium alkoxide. Now what is it? It is sodium salt of any alcohol or phenol. See, if this is ROH, okay, and we react with NaOH, this will be eliminated as water, and what we will get? We will get RONA, sodium alkoxide. Now see the next point, ethers containing substituted alkyl groups, secondary or tertiary, may also be prepared by this method, but here also there are certain limitations that I will tell you. The reaction involves SN2 attack of an alkoxide ion on the primary alkyl halide. Here again, what is preferred? Primary alkyl halide is preferred, because again the same thing, for SN2 the reaction order is 1 degree, 2 degree and then 3 degree. So what is preferred? That we take a primary alkyl halide for this reaction also. Okay. Now let us see some examples of this reaction. See the conditions again written. Better results are obtained if the alkyl halide is primary. I told you right now. In case of, if we take secondary or tertiary alkyl halide, again elimination competes over substitution. So we will get what? Alkene as a product. If a tertiary alkyl halide is used and alkene is formed, alkene is the only reaction product and no ether is formed. You need to remember, in tertiary only alkene is formed, but in secondary a mixture of alkene and ether is formed. It is because, now see, this is the important reason, alkoxide are not only nucleophiles but strong bases as well. Okay, the alkoxide act as nucleophiles also and bases also. They react with alkyl halide leading to elimination reactions. See, this point will be more clear if we see the reactions. So let us see the reactions first. See, the first reaction is written here. This is our alkyl halide. This is sodium alkoxide. What will happen if you see this X and this Na will be eliminated as NaX, and we will get the ether ROR dash. Now see the second case here. Here see, this is our alkyl halide. Okay, again it is primary alkyl halide. Okay, and here this is our what? Alkoxide. Now see, as you can see here, there is backside attack of alkoxide on the alkyl halide. That is why we say that it should be sterically less hindered. And in this case, this will act as nucleophile only, and we will get the desired product. Okay, this Na and Br will be eliminated, and we will get the desired product, which is ether. Now suppose if we take the reverse, here the alkyl halide is this. See, this Br is attached. Okay, so here in this case the alkyl halide is what? 3 degree, which is tertiary, and this is what? Our alkoxide ion. But in this case, can we write down this, that NaBr is eliminated and we get the ether? It is looking like that it will happen, but this is not the case. See students, in this case what will happen? Here this will act as a base. Okay, you need to remember this. I told you it can act as a nucleophile and a base, but in this case here what will happen? Elimination will take place and it will act as a base. So what it will do? It will eliminate any of the beta hydrogen. Here see, if we remove this hydrogen, okay, so what will happen? Double bond will come here. See, CH3CH, double bond CH3, and here CH double bond CH2 will come, and this NaBr will be eliminated, and plus we will get CH3OH, CH3OH. H will come from here. Okay, so what we are getting? We are getting an alkene as the product and not the ether. Why this was so? Because here there is more steric hindrance. The alkyl halide taken is not 1 degree, or it is 3 degree. So there will be more steric hindrance, and so there is no possibility of SN2 mechanism. So 3 degree alkyl halide act as base to form alkene. You need to remember 3 degree alkyl halide, what will be formed? Alkene will be formed. But if we take 1 degree of primary alkyl halide, what will be formed? Ether will be formed. Okay, right children? Now let us move on further. Okay, one more thing is there to be discussed, that suppose if we need to form alkyl aryl ethers. See, if we need to form alkyl aryl ethers. Now what does this mean? Alkyl is what? R, aryl is our C6H5 group. It means we need to form something like this. Here also we need to remember certain things. For formation of alkyl aryl ethers, phenol is used as phenoxide moiety. Okay, it is given in your NCERT also. Phenol is used as phenoxide moiety. Phenoxide moiety means it is used in the form of sodium phenoxide. It is used in the form of sodium phenoxide. And we add any alkyl halide to get the product. We will get this product. But if we use reverse means if we use aryl halide, suppose I use aryl halide, you can say that we can do this reaction using aryl halide also. This is aryl halide. But in this case we cannot get the product. Why? Yes, we have already studied. Aryl halides are not used because they are less reactive towards SN reactions because of partial double bond character which arises due to resonance. Okay, so if we need to make what? Aryl alkyl, aryl ethers, then we will not use aryl halides but we will use alkyl halides. Okay. Alkyl halides, and the phenoxide part will be taken as sodium phenoxide, right? So this is also mentioned in your NCERT, that is why you need to study this point also. Now let us see the physical properties. The CO bond in ethers are polar, weakly polar, and thus ethers have a net dipole moment. You need to remember this. Okay, if you look at the structure, then it is something like this. It is not given in your NCERT, but you can note down the angle here is 110 degree. Okay, 110 degree. That is why there is a net dipole moment here. Okay, because these two dipoles do not cancel out each other. The angle is 110 degree. Okay, this angle. The weak polarity of ethers do not appreciably affect their boiling points. They are much lower than boiling points of alcohols. This point you need to remember. If we compare ethers and alcohols of comparable molar mass, then these ethers will have less boiling point. See, as it is written, this is an alkane, this is ether, and this is an alcohol. Here see, if we see these two values, for ethers it is very less in comparison to alcohol. Why? Because in alcohol what is present? Hydrogen bonding is present. We have already discussed this. In alcohols hydrogen bonding is present, but in ethers there are only weak dipole-dipole interactions. Okay. See, it is written now. The large difference in boiling point of alcohol and ether is due to the presence of hydrogen bonding in alcohols. Okay, in alcohols hydrogen bonding is there, but in ethers there is only weak dipole-dipole interactions. Okay. Now one more physical property, that is solubility. Let us discuss that. Solubility. So if we talk about the solubility, then we see that these are ethers. Okay, these ethers are soluble in water. Now why this is so? Because they have the ability to form hydrogen bond with water. Okay, hydrogen bond with water. So the lower members, okay, are soluble in water like alcohols are soluble. And the reason is also the same, because of the formation of hydrogen bond with water. But with the increase in molecular mass, as the molecular mass increases, the solubility decreases. It is the same trend. As the molecular mass increases, solubility decreases. Why this is so? Because due to increase in hydrophobic hydrocarbon portion of the molecule. Okay. So, what we discussed today was preparation of ethers by dehydration of alcohol. Mechanism is there. That is the third mechanism of the chapter, third and last mechanism. Then Williamson synthesis. You need to remember all the conditions, that what is how we will get good yield if there is 1 degree alkyl halide. Okay, and then physical properties, we discussed two properties. First was about boiling point and the second was about solubility. Right, children? Thanks for watching the video.